As a U.S. Security Associates Officer, you already know about the importance of maintaining constant awareness at your site and keeping all at your site safe. While protecting people and property while at work is essential, using the knowledge you already have and applying it to your everyday life to enable you to better protect yourselves and your family is just as crucial. In this unit, we will define personal safety and teach you how to use your observation skills to recognize criminal threats that could occur in your on or off-duty life. We will then cover practical tactics to deal with criminal threats in an effective manner. So what do we mean by personal safety? Defined, personal safety is the freedom from worry that an individual might suffer physical harm and threats of physical harm. It is more than just an idea. Personal safety involves actively learning and practicing safety-oriented behaviors until they become a habit in your everyday life. As a professional security officer, you already apply many of the principles we will cover here today to protect the client and all employees and visitors. The focus of today's session is to equip you with the knowledge of how to apply what you practice daily in the workplace and enable you to transfer this knowledge to your everyday life so you can keep you and your family safe from harm and danger. After this session, you will be able to learn the 4 A's of personal safety, identify the characteristics and behavioral patterns of criminals, identify the various types of criminal approaches and how to recognize and avoid them, learn effective unarmed tactics for countering criminal attacks, learn sexual assault and rape prevention tips, learn important car, shopping, and around-town security tips, understand the basics of home security. In order for you to be alert and prepared for any criminal activity, it is very helpful to practice what is known as the 4 A's. The 4 A's are attitude, appearance, awareness, avoidance. The first of the 4 A's is attitude. Attitude is taking personal responsibility for your own safety and the safety of your family. As you know, as a security officer, police or security simply cannot be everywhere at all times. So you must be prepared at all times to protect yourself or your family. Another aspect regarding attitude is that if you are faced with a potential life or death situation, you must be able to allow yourself to become combative and aggressive, if it means saving your life or that of someone else. Of course, good customer service skills and diplomacy should always be employed to resolve normal conflicts with people, but having an empowered attitude can mean the difference between life and death in a dire situation. The second A is appearance. With appearance, the main idea is that you do not look like a victim. Strive to walk with confidence and good posture. Also try to keep in shape by watching your diet, getting enough sleep, and engaging in a regular exercise program. You should also watch what you carry and how you dress, particularly when in unfamiliar or potentially dangerous environments. For example, avoid displaying your smartphone or laptop computer in plain view, and avoid wearing expensive clothing or jewelry. Displaying valuables makes you more of an inviting target for criminals. The third A is awareness. This means constantly paying attention to your surroundings, possessions, and your mental state. Also practice people watching, and use proactive thinking by playing the what-if game. The what-if game means that you visualize how you would react to a given scenario that might involve an attempted attack by a criminal. The fourth and final A is avoidance. Ultimately, by practicing attitude, appearance, and awareness, this will automatically help you to avoid dangerous situations, or at least know how to respond should danger occur. Just as you do while you're on the job, in everyday life you should always remain vigilant, and if something seems suspicious to you, take it seriously and be ready to take appropriate actions. Remember, the term suspicious means anything that seems out of the ordinary or makes you feel uncomfortable. In order to learn how to identify suspicious behavior and criminal characteristics, we will be exploring some of the most common behavioral traits of criminals. Once you are aware what criminal behavior looks like, you will be better prepared to defend yourself and your family from any possible criminal attack. Studies show that most criminals are either classified as sociopaths or psychopaths. Unlike other mental disorders that may cause a person to become detached from reality, such as suffering from hallucinations and paranoid delusions, both sociopaths and psychopaths are fully in command of their senses, and in fact, can be very charming and convincing. Their basic problem is that they are totally self-centered, emotionally shallow, and have little or no empathy for others. Sociopaths tend to be the least dangerous and are usually prone to commit nonviolent crimes such as theft, burglary, and various scams. For example, identity theft. They are essentially con artists and are responsible for a variety of crimes in society. For the purpose of this course, we will be focusing on violent criminals and how to counter them. Psychopaths, on the other hand, feel no empathy or emotion at all, not even for their family members, and derive pleasure from physically injuring or even torturing others. These are your typical murderers and rapists. Both sociopaths and psychopaths tend to be quite intelligent and are very methodical and careful planners. They like creating plans to victimize others and do not like having their plans interrupted. This is key to know when you are faced with either of these individuals. It is essential for you to know how violent criminals attack, so that you can take preventative measures and also be better prepared to defend yourself should you come under attack. There are three broad categories or methods that criminals often use to commit crimes of violence: the con approach, the blitz method, threatening their victims with weapons. We will now explore these methods used by criminals to commit acts and discuss ways to get out of these situations and to defend yourself. Criminals who use the con approach method usually try to lure their victims into a situation by asking distracting questions or engage them in conversation, and then when the victim drops their guard, the criminal attacks. Their motives are typically to commit robbery or sexual assault. Remember, if a complete stranger approaches you and begins asking questions or engages you in conversation for no apparent reason, then you should automatically be suspicious and on your guard. Here are some examples of some common con approaches. Hey, don't I know you from somewhere? Excuse me, can you tell me what time it is? Do you have a light? Hey, do you want to buy some? Hey, you got $1 on you? Hey, can you help me? My car's broken down, and I just need a ride home. It's real close. While there are times that someone may legitimately need help, or may just be panhandling for money, you have to take any of these approaches as a threat, unless you can verify otherwise. Keep in mind that there are a lot of people out there who will take advantage of any act of kindness. First, by being aware of people in your surroundings at all times, you can often spot someone who starts walking towards you and take steps to avoid the situation before they can approach. For example, you may try crossing the street, going into a business or store, or getting in your car and quickly driving off. If you cannot avoid the person, simply keep moving. Make firm but brief eye contact, but do not stop to answer questions or engage in any conversation. You can say, "Nope, don't want any, I don't have any money," etc., as you continue to try and move to a safe area. As you continue moving, do not lose sight of the person. Keep an eye out and be ready for a sudden attack. If the criminal continues to approach, you may try taking a strong verbal approach by stepping back, putting your hands up, and telling them not to come any closer. Most criminals cannot stand a show of resistance because it interrupts their plans. This is called setting your boundary and shows that you aren't the easy mark that they were looking for. It also starts creating a scene and drawing attention, which is something else most criminals don't want to deal with. Continue to try and move and get to safety. If cornered, continue getting more loud and aggressive, and be prepared to defend yourself if necessary. If the criminal still persists, and you know that you are about to be attacked, you should try to escape and run as fast as you can to a safe area and then call 911, and then let them know of your location and give them a personal description of the criminal. Fight back. If all else fails and you cannot escape, use any means at your disposal to incapacitate your attacker in order to allow you to escape. In this case, your life may be in danger, so anything goes, including using your car key to jab their eyes, striking them with any object you can pick up, or throwing dirt in their eyes. If grabbed, try and stomp their feet or kick their knees, or any other vital areas to get them to release you. As you've learned as a security officer, this is the absolute last resort, but be prepared to defend yourself with total commitment in a potential life or death situation. The blitz approach is basically a swift and violent surprise attack with little or no warning. In this case, the criminal is typically hiding behind a wall, a vehicle, shrubbery, or other cover such as bushes, and grabs or strikes you while your back is turned or you're otherwise distracted. As with the con, the motive is usually robbery or sexual assault. Another type of blitz that is becoming more common is violent home invasions. We will be covering this and how to counter this violent crime later in the unit. To counter a sudden attack from a criminal who is hiding out, the best tactic is to be aware of any hiding places as you approach your car, home, or any place when out and around. Take a quick moment to survey areas prior to entering your car or home, and keep an eye out for danger. And do not allow yourself to get distracted with carrying too many items or playing with your smartphone. Sometimes criminals will begin with the con approach, but will turn violent and turn to the blitz approach to overpower their victims. Others will hide first and then blitz. Either way, as we covered previously, your only option at this point, if you cannot escape, is to fight back in order to incapacitate the attacker long enough to escape to a safe area and call 911. In this short course, we cannot go into actual physical tactics in any detail. For this, it is recommended that you enroll in self-defense classes. Keep in mind that many traditional karate, taekwondo, or MMA classes may claim to teach self-defense, but are actually more focused on traditional arts forms or sports competition. Street self-defense is very different than art or sport. Try and get a referral from local law enforcement personnel, who will usually know the best local instructors for self-defense. Learning how to safely use a handgun or pepper spray, if legal in your state or area, can be another very important self-defense option. The key to any weapons carry is to take an actual course to teach you how to use the weapon safely and in a legally correct manner. Remember, even if a personal weapon is legal in your area, you cannot take them to your security post for any reason unless authorized by your supervisor. If you are ever confronted by a criminal who uses a weapon to threaten you, keep in mind there are usually two basic reasons they will use a weapon to threaten you. They plan to rob you, they intend to abduct or kidnap you or your spouse. As we discuss tactics on dealing with this subject, keep in mind that the primary focus of this course is on unarmed response tactics. Armed tactics are outside the scope of this course and require specialized training. If you ever encounter a situation where a criminal with a weapon attempts to rob you, here are some helpful ways to respond and get to safety. If you see someone who appears suspicious and they are heading in your direction with a weapon, then you should try to quickly escape to a safe area and call 911. Again, this goes back to paying attention and anticipating dangerous people and situations rather than allowing yourself to be surprised. If it is too late to escape and a weapon is drawn on you, at this point you should comply and hand over whatever merchandise the criminal wants. In this case, the criminal will usually tell you what they want. For example, give me your wallet, iPhone, computer, or whatever item you have that they want. This can include your car. Keep in mind that the attacker is typically very agitated, so you don't want to make any sudden moves or appear to challenge the assailant. Be very cooperative and put away the merchandise down slowly and try to slowly back away. Then escape to safety when you have the chance. If confronted with a carjacker, get out of the car quickly and let them have it if you cannot drive off safely to avoid them. Remember, there is no property or possessions that are worth your life or that of your families, so do not try to play hero and confront the armed criminal. If you feel that even after cooperating fully with the attacker's wishes that they intend on using the weapon on you, try running quickly in a zigzag fashion or physically fighting back as a last resort. If you encounter a criminal who brandishes a weapon and is commanding you to get into your or their car or to follow them somewhere, then this is probably an abduction attempt. The motive is typically rape, robbery, and to murder you if they can get you to go with them somewhere secluded. Murder is often the final outcome, and that the criminal doesn't want you to be able to testify against them in court. The key is to not go to a secondary location with them. Run, scream, draw as much attention to yourself and to the situation as possible. Understand that this type of criminal usually doesn't wish to use the weapon against you in a public place. They want to use the weapon to intimidate you, going with them to a secluded place to commit their assault. Then use the weapon against you where no one else can witness the crime. Now we will discuss sexual assault and rape prevention. In technical terms, a sexual assault has occurred as someone attempts any unwanted physical sexual attention. Rape can include this, but technically must involve actual forced penetration of the victim. As with most violent criminals, those who commit sexual assault or rape are psychopaths. They commit their crimes to dominate and control their victims, or others because of anger based on abusive or dysfunctional childhoods. Regardless, their motive is violence and personal degradation. So here are some very important preventative tips. Monitor your kids' internet use. The sad fact is the majority of rape victims are under age 17. Many sexual assaults or rapes occur as a result of criminals approaching them online via various social media and then setting up meetings in private places where they can easily be taken advantage of. The key, when it comes to your kids on social media, is to be their parent, not their pal. You should have access to any websites your children are visiting and strictly control their online activities to help keep them safe. Always know who they are with at all times. By the same token, be very careful of who you meet via dating sites or other social media. If you agree to meet with someone, always try and meet in a public place, and let a close friend or family member know where you are going and who you are meeting with. Know that there is safety in numbers. Try and avoid going shopping, jogging, or even doing the laundry or putting out the trash alone at night. Predators will seldom attack someone who is with someone else for fear of interference or being a witness in court. Be careful when in the grocery line or out shopping not to let someone see any personal information such as when writing a check or showing ID. Seeing your name and address is all that a rapist may need to find their way to your home, or for an identity thief to wreak havoc on your finances. Finally, never open your door for anyone whom you aren't expecting, such as a solicitor or supposed repairman. Any criminal can buy official-looking uniforms or badges. If you feel threatened, do not open the door. Instead, get to a safe area in your house and call 911. Now we'll cover some important safety tips when driving or parking. First, as you approach your vehicle, scan the area with your car key in hand. This way you can quickly enter your car or home without being distracted. And a car key can be a very effective weapon for self-defense if needed. Also, as we covered earlier, watch out for criminals hiding out nearby waiting for the opportunity to blitz you. When you get in your car, quickly lock your doors, and do not allow yourself to get distracted with your cell phone or other things in your car. Watch out all around you, and don't make or take a call or text or do other activities until you are parked in a safe area. Remember, being distracted is something criminals look for when selecting their victims. Unfortunately, due to traffic and frustrations of modern life, road rage is becoming increasingly prevalent. First, always be a courteous driver yourself. If you do something to accidentally anger another driver, try politely waving to give a universal "I'm sorry" gesture. Do not return any signs of aggression. Try and maneuver to get out of the person's way. If you feel that you are being followed or chased, try and drive to a public area and call 911 if threatened. Keep your doors locked and do not attempt to get out of your vehicle to confront the attacker. Keep in mind that many people carry weapons in their vehicles and will use them against you if they feel angry or disrespected. When shopping or out and around, particularly at night, try to park in well-lit public areas, as near to the store or event you are attending as possible, even if it means paying extra for parking. Stay away from bushes, parking pillars, or other places where a criminal can hide whenever possible. Be alerted intersections. Carjackers will often approach you when you are parked at intersections. Again, keep your door locked, and if approached by someone you consider a threat, try using your vehicle horn to create noise and draw attention, or even drive through the light if you feel that you can do so safely. If none of this works and someone has a gun in your face, it's best to simply get out, let them have the car. Again, no valuables are worth your life or that of your families. If in an accident, it's best to stay in your car with the doors locked until police arrive. One common scam is for someone to bump your vehicle, and when you're getting out to investigate, one of them jumps in your car and drives off. Also, some people become very violent if they feel that you caused an accident and may attempt to assault you. For safety, call 911, stay in your vehicle, and you can exchange information about insurance through a slightly cracked window. If you are able to safely move your vehicle, try to get it over to the side of the road to prevent traffic tie-ups. Wait for the police to arrive and follow their instructions. If your car breaks down, call for help and keep your doors locked. It's best not to get out of your vehicle, particularly on busy freeways, as this is a good way to get hit by passing cars. Also, many abductions have happened particularly to females who have left a stranded vehicle to search for help. If someone stops to offer you help, simply tell them, "Thanks, but help is already on its way." Many rapes have occurred by men who find women stranded and offer to help them. Finally, we will cover some basic safety tips for home security. The main point in home security is to use the same skills you employ while on patrol at work, to look for places at your home that may be vulnerable to criminal entry, and take steps to correct them. Here are some main points. First, just as at work, make sure your house or apartment is well lit, since this deters criminals. Motion sensor lights are inexpensive and easy to install, and greatly increase security when pulling up in your driveway at night. Try and keep shrubbery well trimmed, and try in general to minimize hiding places for criminals. Invest in a good home security system. There are many companies now that offer inexpensive installation and alarm monitoring with no contracts. Many can be controlled via your computer or smartphone, even if away from home. Just as at your post, most homes now already have good locks installed. The key is to use them. Get in the habit of keeping your doors locked at all times, even when away from your home for brief periods, such as running errands or taking out the trash. Instruct family members to do the same. Remember, it only takes seconds for an armed criminal to slip in through an unlocked window and hide out in your home to wait for you or your family member to return. When away from your home, such as vacations or even hanging out with friends, don't advertise on Facebook or Twitter as to where you are or what you are doing. This is a very easy way to let the whole world know that you are away and your home is unprotected. You can update your friends and family after you return home. Also instruct children or other family members to be careful not to divulge too much information about your home or themselves, or to advertise the fact that they may be home alone. Know that criminals are active on social media as well and routinely use it to victimize people. Just as at work, it's important to have an evacuation plan at your home in case of a fire or home invasion. Have agreed upon escape routes and procedures, and actually practice drills with your family, just as you do at work, to keep your family prepared in case of an emergency. Regarding home invasions, these are becoming more frequent and increasingly violent. The attackers typically work in groups and will kick the door in or enter through a window unexpectedly. If you have children, have a plan to quickly gather them and escape from a back door or window if possible. If escape isn't possible, it's best to have a safe room, which can be a bathroom, closet, or any place with a relatively strong door and locks. Plan on having a fully charged cell phone or even a firearm or other weapon quickly available to bring with you as you gather your family to the room and lock the doors. Call 911 and try to stay away from the doorway. This is generally the safest tactic in this situation. Avoid the tendency to search for or otherwise confront the assailants. Stay on the phone if needed with the 911 operator to give information. When the police arrive, if you have a weapon, put it down, put your hands up, and don't make any sudden moves. Keep in mind that the police often cannot immediately discern who the criminals actually are, so stay calm and fully cooperate with their commands. This will conclude this unit. Again, try and practice in applying these principles learned here until they become a daily part of your life, so that you can help keep you and your family safe.